Hello? What's that? NKY Films is making 2 new movies? No way! No way!
Ruin our lives.
Trudy truly dances to the beat of her own drum. What might be right for her may not be right for some. Not a carbon copy. Girls in magazines, style of her own will always get her seen. Trudy truly is confident.
Hello everybody, welcome back to Let's Ruin Our Lives. I am Joshua Hensley. Pleased to welcome back 2 of my favorite filmmakers in the whole world. It's Nick Hiance and Ricky Glore. Thank you guys for coming back.
2 of his favorite filmmakers. He just literally told you and me, Nick, he only got halfway through our first movie, All Your Friends Are Dead.
We don't know. Maybe that's as furthest he's ever gotten in any movie, right?
That's true.
Yeah.
Well,
usually he's only like the first 5 minutes. He's like, I'm moving pictures.
well, whenever I don't get through a movie, it used to be because of my raging alcoholism, but now it's my hardcore sleep medication. So I'll blame that. And joining us for the first time ever, it is author, podcaster, blogger, Eric Hunter.
Oh, yeah.
Welcome on, sir.
Hey, everybody. Eric Hunter here. How's it going, guys?
Good. How are you guys doing? So we're going to talk about some new projects by NKY Films, the movies Trudy and Casually Cool.
You better believe it.
And boy, howdy.
Are you ready?
So,
are you ready?
I Googled Trudy, and the first thing that comes up is the first thing that came up were paper dolls of the 50s. Does that play a role at all?
Gosh, no, this is too good of an interview to have. We don't even have a movie out. Yeah, we just started, and you were already doing deep dive research.
I try my best.
All of the thematic. God damn it! And I said we don't do this one first, guys.
Oh, I can go on to vintage lounge shorts. Also came up.
No,
I did see that one.
Yes,
I did see that.
So, multiple reasons for the title. So, I mean, gosh. Is this
the honest
should you start with the inception of the creation of the idea for Trudy? One of the movies we're looking to make within 1 calendar year.
Oh, okay.
So, Trudy came to me like anything does, straight to the dome, right? Mm-hmm. And the thought was, what if a last surviving member of a death cult had to go into a coming of age story and graduate high school.
Okay.
What world like that? What does that world even exist? Like, what does that world even look like? So on a casual Sunday afternoon, I'd send Ricky a message saying, "Hey, wouldn't this be a weird idea?" And you're like, "Yeah, that'd be great." And I was like, "All right, I'm gonna put that one in the coffer and just sit on it until later." And then ended up
flurry
meeting up with Ricky the next day, and suddenly this is just a thing we're doing.
Oh, okay, nice.
And it's called Trudy.
And so you guys are writing it together?
Yeah, so Trudy has been completely written. There has been a table reading that we were all part of with our primary cast members.
Yeah.
Because we felt so good about the project. We had already secured Bellevue High School in Bellevue, Kentucky, which is real close to all three of us here in northern Kentucky near Cincinnati. And we just felt really strongly about this movie. The band White Lighter came on board and did a theme song for it, and they're going to be incorporated in the script. They're going to be a band. Like, if you think of movies like Pretty in Pink or American Pie, where they get to the prom scene and the band is there. In my idea, even though Trudy isn't a period piece, it is kind of every coming of age movie kind of ever. And every high school movie, or TV show,
like an ensemble.
Creek.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just
we're taking all the fun parts and making them funner.
Nice.
It's not a parody movie. It is legitly trying to be one of those movies.
Okay.
But with a couple, what I think what we've discovered through Hiance and I doing short films, doing sketch comedy, and doing the 2 feature films that we've done is, what is our spice of a genre? So whether it's an 80s or just 90s musical coming of age, what are we going to do? It's the last surviving member of a religious death cult who then is thrusted into Pretty in Pink.
Okay.
Just any
Some
of those
sort
kind
of
of
modern day society.
Okay, so no horror?
So I think Trudy, out of the 2 movies that we're making, have the most horrific elements for us to kind of lean into. There's a few scenes that exude our appreciation of that, but it is these 2 movies. So Casually Cool is the first movie in the 2 movie lineup, where we think we can make it for between $7,000 and $10,000.
Nice.
And then Trudy is the second bigger movie in the calendar year to be like, all right, if we're gonna make how NKY Films makes a High School the Musical, how are we going to do that?
Interesting. Yeah.
We think it's more between 40,000 and 50,000.
Right.
So Casually Cool is another one of our, we're genre bending to be like, okay, what if we made late 70s, early 80s cop mystery drama like a Rockford Files or Murder, She Wrote?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And so we're thinking okay, fiscally and production wise, if we had to make something for X amount of dollars, in the Robert Rodriguez way, what would we do? And it's okay, I pitch, I'm what if we do this thing that feels episodic, and I think we could do with kind of this amount of money, and now we kind of equate All Your Friends Are Dead, where we're we spent a lot of money on effects.
Right.
What if we put that into the acting and into
production and
Oh, so you guys are
I'll let
you're going mainstream.
We're going mainstream. That's exactly what we're doing. We're selling out. We talked about this earlier. We're completely selling out.
Well, don't forget us little guys on your way up. So are the movies going to be tied together? Casually Cool and Trudy.
They are, and they
Go ahead,
are.
Ricky. Answer that for me.
Well, White Lighter is going to be a band that appears
Oh, okay.
in both movies. They're going to be the band that appears in the there's a chili cook-off scene in the third act of Casually Cool.
Yeah.
You know, when traditionally the detective,
when there's a murder
together,
we're trying to figure out who killed this poor girl.
There's a
chili
heinous
cook-off at the
crime.
end.
Okay.
There also be a very big stakes, small town, because that's what Casually Cool is about. Is a lot of those shows of those times, they existed in, like, Magnum PI was in Hawaii, Rockford Files is like San Francisco, like LA, San Francisco, like.
And ours takes place in a town of like maybe 1,200 people.
Yeah, like
that is like, yeah, like that exists because there's a railroad track by there, and it was a big depot. Okay. Yeah.
So Nick, like, describe Silver Grove.
Nick, describe Silver Grove.
Okay.
Do it, monkey.
They have one stoplight and a dairy bar. So
that's it.
Silver Grove.
All right. What's a dairy bar?
Some sort of factory. Oh, sorry.
Like an ice cream shop?
Okay.
That's only open during
like
summer?
An old school. Like they have the fluorescent sign of, like, the ice cream cone.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
like cash only.
Positional.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
It's a staple of the city. Yeah, it's a staple of the city, which is amazing.
They're that small, but they are on the Ohio River, which then goes by Dayton, Kentucky, Bellevue, Kentucky, into Newport, and then into Cincinnati. Like,
okay.
It is part of the journey, and it is part of this bigger thing. So we're like, oh, well, what if we just use that and we make, like, the area a character?
Yeah.
It's that same kind of thing where they would take these small towns within, like, a San Francisco or a Hawaii or whatever, and they would be like, isn't this charming? And there's something sexy about it. So we're kind of going a little bit, I wouldn't describe this, but someone said, like, a Lynchian, like, or Christopher Guest, where, like, you're really getting into the eccentricities and the idiosyncrasies of these characters. I love that Hiance got up to make it look better.
He looks professional.
Daylight has shifted. Yes, the shadow is a really good shadow.
So Hiance is making a movie called Casually Cool.
Oh, okay.
How would you like to be the lead?
Which, so again, talking more about, so are these movies connected? Canonically, no. But as what Ricky was saying, like, yeah, we're using similar modes of transportation. So we have.
We will double dip on a Blu-ray where they're both on the same Blu-ray.
Oh, I mean, 100%. Yes, if you fund this movie right now on Indiegogo, like, there will be an option that says get the double disc, the double feature.
That would be pretty cool.
And in reality, the way that it worked was we came up with this amazing idea that we think is going to be fantastic and everybody's going to love, and it's going to shoot us to stardom, and we'll be back a year after we'll do this podcast.
Okay.
But that takes time.
Right.
And they were like, well, we kind of want to do something now or soon. So how do we do something soon? So it needs to be low budget, even more lower budget than any of the other projects we've done. But it also needs... So what does that look like? So we immediately just start grabbing for things that are in arm's reach. So we have ties to the city, both through family and just from being part of the area. And we've made a lot of connections there. And this idea of this Rockford File-esque, this murder mystery, this Murder, She Wrote episode is like, man, you know what would be cool? Doing something kind of heightened like that, but in a really small town.
Yeah.
So there's this small town flavor that you don't really get anymore. Like Ricky was saying, like with Hawaii, like everybody wants to go to Hawaii.
Right.
It's like, man, there's this pretty interesting town called Silver Grove that has got all these also interesting things happening, but like on a smaller scale.
Right.
So it was like perfect. So how do we take advantage of that? And then it just became...
But they also got the big city, like, because we grew up...
behind them, yes.
All of us grew up in northern Kentucky. So, like, we all heard this weird thing of, oh, you don't go into Cincinnati if you're from Kentucky.
Right.
And
Never
then
cross
it
the
was...
river.
You never cross the river. There's only bad on the other side of the river. I mean, it's racism. It's racism latent, I'm sure.
For sure.
But vice versa, I have heard people from Cincinnati be like, oh, yeah, like, you don't go into Kentucky. Right. So there was this, like, Romeo and Juliet, like, kind of, like, weird thing of, like, oh, no, they're Kentucky, like, poo-poo.
Right.
Like, there always is this crosstown rivalry a little bit. But so I think that was the impetus of us being like, okay, what if we did Sweetmeats level humor, dialed up just a smidge? So instead of Southsploitation, what if we did episodic television, like an hour long, with our humor, with our same kind of cast of characters, like Timmy Barron, Eileen Ernest, myself in a smaller role in Casually Cool. We lean into music, like we lean into this vibe where we're like, oh man, like, do you miss just kind of like this after school, or like you're homesick from school, like murder mystery?
Daytime television.
Like 45-minute Agatha Christie, like kind of thing, but like we're gonna add some humor to it.
Yeah.
Like we're gonna.
There's a chili cook-off at the end. I don't know if you got that part. Well, a chili cook-off.
Which is
chili
very
cook-off,
big to our area. Like chili, like we have German heritage, like chili, and like Greek, German, and like there is such a weird, almost internal mafia battle, even though like mafias come through different areas. Like we can explore that as well too. Again, that's what's so fun about coming up with the world of Casually Cool, because Eric and I, and even now Nick, we've expanded this world bigger than what we're making this movie, because we're like, oh, this movie takes place within 1/100th of an entire series that could have a 7th season where they jump the shark, where they do this, blah, blah, blah. So, like, if we wanted to, we could write shorts, we could play in the sandbox, we could come up, because we now have a Bible of almost like a show.
Yeah.
And this is just like a 2-part episode that exists within there.
Okay, that's okay. Interesting.
You're gonna love it.
Yeah, no, that sounds awesome. So I watched that's a lot for me to process.
I'm sure. I apologize.
I apologize. I watched the teaser that you sent me.
Now you know what it feels like. Now you know what it feels like to be Eric and Nick, like one just like
completely inundated.
No, it's prolific. Yeah. No. Is there a trailer park in Casually Cool?
Oh,
yes.
Yes.
Okay. Is that what Stone Grove, or I'm sorry, Silver Grove?
Silver. Yeah. So Silver Grove. So in our neck of the woods. I mean, I know. I went to a babysitter that grew up. That lived in a trailer park. Do you guys have any associations with trailer parks?
I grew up on a boat, so it's kind of similar, honestly.
The trailer park of the sea.
Pretty much, yeah. It was a commercial fishing boat. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So I mean, pretty similar. Very limited shower space.
Blue collar.
Yeah.
We have a lot of, I mean, Northern Kentucky, I always say, is Northern Kentuckians either really embrace that, like, no, we're true Kentuckians, or they're just like, we're like Southern Cincinnatians.
Right.
Yes.
Like, leaning into that a little bit. Also, like, why we are trying to push ourselves to do 2 movies in 1 calendar year is we're just like, oh, if we do it this way, we actually think we might be able we should be able to accomplish this goal of executing these 2 things as long as we monetarily get, X amount of dollars, which is still a spit in the bucket. So I think for us, like, leaning into that mentality of almost like Clerks, Hiance and I went to this seminar where they were just like, hey, you want to be an indie filmmaker? If you have a warehouse, that you just write a movie about the warehouse.
You told me
it doesn't matter what the movie's about.
That makes sense. Yeah.
And so we were just, and they were just like, and this is how you turn it for profit. And we're just like, oh, okay, wouldn't it be cooler to be like the lesson you learned from Kevin Smith and Clerks is write what you know, like write your experience, like what you feel passionate about, not just like what you can exploit.
See. Right. Yeah. That's not. So Hiance brings this up all the time. I think Ricky told me it was a quote from Quentin Tarantino, where it is like, I want to make movies that I want to see, you know? So like, it's the same thing, you know, it's that idea of, could we just make this a run of the mill Rockford Files, Murder, She Wrote, you know, of course we could, but why? I could just go back and watch those. They're on Tubi right now, just so you know. Oh, but nice. It's that thing of like, with the genre thing that Ricky spoke about earlier, where it was just like, this is our take on a genre film, or this is our take on this very, very specific thing. And obviously, we want to see it made, so that also changes and justifies how the story and what happens within the movie changes. So, but that's also just us again. Like, we're just trying to see that thing. You know, we're trying all of the fun that is like an action-packed murder mystery, like a Miami Vice, but like in Silver Grove.
Okay.
For $5,000.
Yeah, no. Okay, so I really like the idea that Ricky brought up earlier, sort of like incorporating the landscape into like being a character, or like the area itself.
Yes.
Would you consider Casually Cool to be like a country noir? Would that be the right terminology?
Ooh, I like those two words together. That sounds interesting. I've never heard of that. Country noir?
Right, yeah.
Is that a thing?
So maybe sort of like Twin Peaks, but they don't really incorporate, like, it just takes place in like a smaller town, right? This sounds like you guys are going like even more sort of like intricate. Would that
I just thought we were cool, but apparently this is a real thing.
Yeah, so I'll kind of piggyback off this a little bit. And just so everybody's aware, I built up a very big defensive wall. So what I'm going to talk about, like, you can't tell me anything that I already don't know. But
this is my manifesto. My name is Nicholas
like,
Hiance.
Trying to make like Silver Grove a character in the movie. So one of the things I've never shot is B-roll for almost any of our first two feature films. So it's a very conscious thing that we're going to try to do, is like incorporate the landscape. We have some really good different sets and environments we're going to be in, and we want to make sure that we're actually capturing that kind of ambiance and trying to capture Silver Grove, the feeling that we want to like kind of portray, and make sure that we get that across on screen. It's so like production film wise, Ricky, you can kind of correct me if I'm wrong, but I think Casually Cool is going to be like our longest set of dates that we've had for filming, for production of any of our movies so far. So from All Your Friends Are Dead to Sweetmeats, monetarily we're taking a little step back from Sweetmeats, but we're going to have a little more time to play in our sandbox, and we're going to kind of incorporate a few more things, and then hopefully take our knowledge and what we've gained on Casually Cool and really like I'm 100% focused on Casually Cool right now. But we want to take all that and springboard it next year, spring, into Trudy for the summer shoot. So we want to kind of build upon everything we've learned in the first two films, add a few more tricks, take a little more time to make sure that we get what we really want to capture, and then take all that into another production. So our goal really with this Kickstarter project in the next two films is to have like two different movies, but that are kind of in our voice, but different genres.
Okay, yeah.
If you want to be part of like what NKY Films, like some people might be like, oh, the next, I've already been asked, like the next thing's not horror. And I'm like, oh, I mean, what an interesting, like, yeah. Is that why Edgar Wright did Hot Fuzz? Like, immediately. Like, as the next thing. I mean, I'm not saying we're fucking Edgar Wright. Like,
well, no, hold on a second. We should ask Edgar Wright first if he thinks we're Edgar Wright.
Yeah, hey, Edgar Wright's like...
What else did Edgar Wright do?
I mean,
Shaun of the Dead was his big.
Shaun of the Dead,
okay.
like, and then
I see.
Gotcha. And then then into Hot Fuzz. But like for us,
I see. Yeah.
Like genre jumping.
Mm-hmm. I like.
Yeah, I think that exactly what Nick said is like the focus is casually cool.
Mm-hmm.
We've became NKY Films, or kind of like what are declaring a mission statement as being like, and we're not that it's not that we're just not horror. It's just like this. Our goal is to make our version of these kind of movies,
right?
And it's not even like the Be Kind Rewind version. It's not really much with a gimmick. It's just like we like humor in movies,
right?
Whether that's a buddy cop movie, whether that's an action, whether it's a drama, be like whether it's absurd. Be like a level of humor that we've all seen the new Naked Gun movie, and one of the things that I was wanting to know about it was with Casually Cool being this kind of not parody, not satire, but just almost our version with just our sense of humor. Like if you've watched All Your Friends Are Dead and then Sweetmeats, like that's the best way for me to describe it to someone that might know that minutia. But like with Naked Gun, I was like, well, I hope there's not too many of the jokes that we were looking to do. And I'm like, oh, there isn't. I'm like, okay, great. I don't feel like we're piggybacking or just doing what is working right now. I think it's, again, like what Eric said, literally just making the thing, and it's like, it would be fun to make that. Whether whether you're interested in like the Clue murder mystery of it all, and you're just like, all right, and like Trudy then is the weird next thing that we're just like, okay, so if you like that,
you think that was great?
Like,
we're gonna turn up the music.
Okay.
We're gonna turn up the dial of just like.
We're going to turn up the absurdity.
Right.
There's musical numbers. There is these nostalgia centers that like almost kind of whatever decade that you're in. The thing that we like to acknowledge is, I think our generation, me, Eric, and Nick, having graduated all together in Campbell County, 2004.
I think we're all the same age.
Residing at a residence and address.
Yeah. Social Security.
Are you guys all 39, 40 years old? I think we're all
39.
I'm 39. Yeah.
I turned 40 first. October 9th.
Oh, nice.
Out of us.
Oh, that's right. Nick's the baby.
Yeah, you guys are old.
Because his birthday's not till February. He's a baby.
But I feel like if like one thing that we acknowledge and kind of our likes and guilty pleasures are these things from like the 70s, for me a little bit the 60s, the 80s. It's almost like rock stations from like 70s, 80s, 90s into the campy.
Like it was right. I remember growing up and enjoying like all movies like that, and they're like, these are B movies? I thought these movies were great. And it's like, because they have heart. Like there's substance here. Like we're not, and that's the thing that me and Ricky, when we come to writing these scripts, it was always about like, well, man, especially with Casually Cool, that was kind of the first instance where we're just like, oh, okay, well, if they don't like the humor, like hopefully they like the murder mystery. Okay, so let's write a really good murder mystery. Okay, if they don't care for the murder mystery, then the love story between the main character and his daughter and his sort of kind of ex-wife is like, all right, so all of this just needs heart. Like at the end of the day, these characters need to be what I would consider full, real characters that live in a place and that actually have.
But if you're seeing them in like episode 3 of a series that is started before this and will continue, regardless, like
Star Wars.
If we give you more of it's episodic, And so like what Hiance was saying about B-roll,
way better.
That's the thing that most excites me about Casually Cool is I'm really looking forward to this. Will be our third feature film. I love going back to the restraints of a smaller budget, of just being like, we really have to rely on like the script and like how quick we do this and
but
how
it's
well
the idea of working inside that
execute.
box, like that creativity
I love that.
just spurs out of nowhere, you know, because it's like
we didn't
you're grabbing things that are at arm's reach, you know,
right?
You find a solution.
Our own boss. Nobody came to us. It's not like NKY Films overlords were just like, "Hey boys, you guys have to earn your keep, and you got to make 2 movies this calendar year." But the good lords have decided that you guys get $7,000 for this movie and $40,000. Like that's not. We are trying to manifest that in whatever vision board, dumb like Northern Kentucky, Cincinnati filmmakers like that. This self-imposed like project or experiment that we're doing. But
self-imposed. I think that, I mean, that's great. Like, you guys are inspired, you know, that's what's so awesome about independent art in general, is that you guys are going to make what you want, without, like, you know, like you said, corporate overlords.
Without, you know, shooting myself in the foot, with the campaign that is live, as of right now, shooting yourself in the foot, because then you have one less foot. I think we should be pretty guaranteed to be able to make Casually Cool. The campaign that's live now, the tiers are built in a way that you want to guarantee that Casually Cool is made, but more that you're building towards Trudy, which is, again, a budget that we've not dealt with. That, like Nick was saying, the way we're filming, we're still growing.
We're learning.
Casually Cool. We're making a thing that we think we can make, but to get us up to snuff, to make this even big, to grow like a roller coaster, continually like go, to then make, okay, here's our version of this. Because then, honestly, if you're investing in us as filmmakers, we have plans like Marvel to then be and
we have a whole calendar.
Oh, okay. I was gonna.
If you trust us to make this, we may swing back into horror someday, but we also may swing into this other genre that the 3 of us grew up like. That's what I think All Your Friends Are Dead. That's what I think Sweetmeats is, and that's what I think we as a group want to do. Is just, what's that thing we really liked? What if we made our version of that, just in our voice?
What would that look like?
So with these 2 new movies, sort of kind of comparing to the first 2, All Your Friends Are Dead and Sweetmeats, obviously those 2 are horrors, but I'd say tonally very different. Like, I found Sweetmeats is delightfully silly, horrific. You know what I mean? Silly in the best way, right? There's like a silly, dark humor to it, and very like emotionally felt, whereas like All Your Friends Are Dead is like much darker. That, again, I only saw half before my meds knocked me out. Please forgive me, I'm sorry. but it comes off as a much darker movie, like, right away. You know, like, with the main character that you play, Ricky, with like all the drinking and just like the overall plot. Would you then say that, like, Trudy is more in the vein of like Sweetmeats and Casually Cool is more like All Your Friends Are Dead? Or are you guys just sort of like departing or interweaving?
So, what I can say is, I think you're right.
I'll give that up to you guys. Yeah.
So I think when it comes to All Your Friends Are Dead, I feel like a lot of that comes just from like the thing that we talked about before, like write what you know. So like with my first novel, Kisses for Andrew, I wrote it during COVID. So even though it's like this witch, coven, Rosemary's Baby reverse, there's so much COVID stuff there. Like, there's so much dealing with kids and my wife being away at work, but in the book, the wife is dead, and it's just that.
I've never heard you say this. You think All Your Friends Are Dead is COVID inspired?
No, what I'm trying to say is, I think that All Your Friends Are Dead is more personal. Because as a writer, you just fall back on the things that you're just kind of dealing with.
Right.
And then those things manifest into an actual fictional story that a character can walk through. But there's all these surrounding things. So, like, again, even with the humor, at the very beginning of that movie, when he wakes up and he falls out of the truck and the title sequence hits so hard, you're just like, I've fucking been there before.
Yeah.
Like, this is hilarious. Look at this fat guy falling out of a truck because he's too drunk.
And all the cans.
I've been there before.
Yes.
So, like, Whereas with Sweetmeats, that is where the heightenedness comes from. It's like they're still dealing with a lot of intense shit. Like there's so much family drama and friendship and the rising and falling of relationships. But it's funny too, you know? Like,
well, there's
a
like,
lot there.
I was just gonna say, there's like emotional depth to those films. It's not just like pure camp. Like I watched Curse of the Werewolf last week, or the week, you know, and that's just straight up silliness. There's not really other much going on, to, which is a good movie.
Did you guess? So Hiance and I watched an early cut of that for Ben Johnson.
Ooh, I like Hiance's opinion because I
Reporter of I. When did you guess what was going to happen at the bachelor party? Because Hiance and I turned to each other, and we were like, because we're in the thick of making Sweetmeats.
Yeah.
And this is the next Trauma movie that's going to be released. Ben Johnson sent us a link to it. It was not finished, but I was like, you know what? If this movie makes this choice, this movie wins, and we're never going to be as funny. If ever we're in a festival with this movie and Trauma is associated, we are demanding that our movie plays first, because we're never like, you can't have that movie before Sweetmeats, the gentle baby oh we're so sad for these characters.
Well, they're both very good movies, but very different. It's sort of like the Rolling Stones, or like the Beatles. You know what I mean?
Don't say the Monkeys. Don't say the Monkeys.
I'm not gonna say the Monkeys for sure. But I mean, Curse of the Weirder is just such a wild ride. But like I was saying, Sweetmeats has that. There's a richness to it. You know what I mean? I personally, I'm not just kissing your ass. I do prefer Sweetmeats. Yeah. I think it's a great movie, and I'd rather watch that.
Oh, that's what I was saying. So earlier today, a gentleman reached out who bought the copy of Sweetmeats. This is before we were rolling, and he said, "I watched that, and then I went on Tubi and watched All Your Friends Are Dead." And I was just like, "This is awesome! This is why I love social media. That somebody can just reach out and just have this awesome discourse." And I was just like, "Thank you so much for what? I mean, you had a little mini NKY Films marathon. That is amazing." I was
a marathon?
I mean, I think, right? If you watch back in the day Terminator and then in Terminator 2.
So that was an early joke for Casually Cool, was we were going, because we all did that. All of our families did that. We had these VHS tapes that were every bit of however long it could be, but you could fit 3 movies on it. And it'd be all taped off a TV.
Totally.
So one of the initial jokes that we were thinking about doing with Casually Cool was just maybe this is just one of the movies that's taped on this weird VHS tape. So every once in a while, videotape of a wedding would pop up, and it would just kind of fall back down into the ether, and then the show would come back up again. But
real quick, I just wanted to say something so I grew up on a boat, right? My boat it's been featured in a movie and a couple TV shows.
You're kidding me.
That VHS, it's actually, I think, Prince's Revolution, but we taped over it with the made-for-TV movie that we were in, or whatever. It's called Parker Kane. So
welcome to Casually Cool. Okay. This is all that stuff, man.
Well, so just to mention that, it's not lost on me that is one of the things that when we were talking about the main character of Casually Cool, was that he could be. Where does he live?
Right.
Is he on a houseboat? Is he above a garage? Is he above the bar? Is he in the bar? What are these elements of this kind of tropey kind of character that? So Timmy is playing RF Cool. This kind of Rockford Files, very Rockford Files, James Garner kind of character.
Is that Timmy in the teaser? I'm sorry to interrupt. That's I did not even recognize him. Okay. I was going to say
that's Eric.
Okay,
that was that was just us.
We look a lot alike. We are handsome gentlemen.
Dark hair. Charismatic on film. Timmy, who's Jerry in Sweetmeats, will be the lead detective. Private detective and Casually Cool, and with him, I know that we are going to have a lot of different depth to the character that is very similar to. Again, I have this reverence for James Garner in Rockford Files and just being like, man, sometimes when this show's not good, that guy just carries a show. Like, and I feel like I hate to be like that boomer like thing, because I'm sure there's examples of this where there's that television where you're just like watching that James Garner show. Like, what is it? It doesn't matter. Like, it's like
it was a great way to spend 45 minutes. Like it,
and I think is I can say of an admirer of Timmy, Our Paths Crossing in Chicago, and us wanting to cast him in different things while I was up there through different paid gigs, and usually our gigs didn't pay as much, so like if schedules aligned he could do it or not. Getting him for Sweetmeats, I was just like, awesome. Like, we have Eileen from All Your Friends Are Dead. We killed her off way too soon. She's gonna be Sweetmeats might be called The Legend of Bobby Sweets, but it's Laddie's movie. But then Jerry, like, Timmy's gonna play Jerry, and he's just gonna be this heart that you're just hopefully that, like, you don't, like, you know it's coming, like, you gotta have to put that dog down, like Old Yeller gotta go. Like, you're not watching Old Yeller and being like, how does this end? Like, right. You know it. And I think we all agreed, we're just like, all right, whatever we do next, which originally was going to be Truly Trudy, but because of the budget restraints, we're just like, all right, I want to do something in the interim to make sure that we can do something. What can we do, and can we get that same group on board? So,
okay,
kind of the linchpin to, like, for this to even happen was just be like, all right, if Eileen is the lead in Truly Trudy and Timmy is the co-lead, what if we put a little bit of the onus on Timmy for Casually Cool in December, and Eileen is is like the co-lead for that,
right? Okay.
Or a strong lead, and so they both were just like, yeah, I'm just waiting for the day that they call us out, that they're just like, no, we're not doing this anymore. But like they both,
it's not working out.
Like they did the table read for Truly Trudy and knocked it out of the park. And then when I was like, all right, so that we're going to hopefully push for July of 2026.
I see. Okay.
But hey, in the meantime, in December 2025, what do your all schedules look like?
Okay, so yeah, I was going to ask, is one movie taking precedence over the other? But it sounds like you said, like, Casually Cool is the impetus to make a more wild movie, which would be Truly Trudy. For some reason, like with the trailer that you sent me, the teaser trailer for Casually Cool, you know, I got this sort of like sepia, you know, sort of like laid back but dark tone. And the way you guys are sort of like talking about Truly Trudy, for some reason, like a lot of colors come to my mind. I guess maybe because high school is always filled with colors or whatever. But
no, that's very on purpose.
I think exactly what you were saying of, like, when you looked up the phrase of Truly Trudy of being paper dolls.
Yeah.
Like, there is an elevated just thought to Truly Trudy. I mean, not to be high on our own farts, of just like, that is why it costs more. Like, when I've had people ask of just being like, well, why does it cost so much more? And it's just like,
because it deserves it. Like, we
more,
truly,
like,
Trudy believe this is going to be a thing. Like, but no, seriously, like, it's just that thing, because we talked.
Hunter and I were talking about, like, the prom scene alone for Truly Trudy is just like what Hiance was talking about. Like, we're going to film things for Casually Cool that we haven't done yet, like B-roll and establishing, to make it feel like this certain kind of thing that you like. For Truly Trudy, we also have to do the same thing. If we're going to shoot a prom scene, even at our $40,000 to $50,000 budget, which is minuscule and ridiculous, like, we're going to try to make it with our effort to look like those things you've seen in these other things.
Right. Yeah.
And we're going to film probably that prom scene for what, 4 days? Like,
oh, okay.
It's a 15-minute scene?
3 days, and that's the most we'll have ever filmed. Except for Nick's Restaurant, I think, wins right now with, what, 5 days, 6 days in a row that we filmed inside of there, but it wasn't for one scene.
And so you said you're renting out that high school, or for Truly Trudy? Did I hear that right?
Yeah, so they agreed to let us film in there, and we even said to them, we were like, "Look, we want to push this back." That because that was the initial way we were going to do it. Was we were all looking at doing Trudy, but we're just like, that doesn't give it enough time to get the budget that it needs. Like realistically, even with crowdfunding or independent sourcing. So what if this probably works for them instead of filming in the down weeks of winter break and possibly spring break? We were like, well, what if we just did it? What worked for them in the best way possible was during their summer break. Like, what's the time period that you would be most open? And they're like, it's this time in July. And we're like, all right, let's put that off to July. And with INDIEGOGO, like, as long as we break the tier of casually cool, we can offer the more perks that are specific to Trudy to then get to the minimum goal of $40,000 for Trudy.
So just like, I'm just thinking like logistically. So is it a public school? I'm assuming.
Yes.
Then does the government have to be involved? Like, do you have to get like permits and permission from like city council or whatever to be able to do that?
Insurance, right, Ricky? Something like that? Some sort of liability?
Yes, insurance. Everything that they have said would be insurance.
This is the big time stuff we were talking about earlier at the beginning. This is the big time.
This is.
We got to fill out paperwork.
Administration. Well, I mean, but we dealt with this with Sweetmeats. Sweetmeats was our first foray. It not only our sophomore film, but like our first foray into having a bigger budget, which we went from $5,959 to around $22,000. I love that I don't know the specific number for Sweetmeats, but I know the specific number for the first movie.
Talk about it all the time.
All the time.
All the time. Stopping strangers on the street as they're passing by. Hey, how do you know?
Did you know how much all your friends are dick on?
Timmy, for Sweetmeats, Timmy is a SAG actor. Timmy has SAG Screen Actors Guild credits. So he's part of their union. If he is ever a part of anything, based on how he's accredited, it falls under a line of how much the budget of the project is.
Okay.
And he wouldn't mind me saying this. For Sweetmeats, he was like, I would love to do it. Here's how I could participate. It all matters on how much the budget is.
Yeah, predicates it.
Really?
There's an old story with Jason Lee when he did A Better Place with Vincent Pereira, Kevin Smith film, where he had to go uncredited for the movie because it was not they did not fall under the SAG. Yeah, this is paperwork again.
I mean, that sounds pretty unfair. Like to be held to that contract,
this
like
budget. But also understanding like these things need to be in place because these people need to be protected because it's so easy to be predatory to what they're already doing, like in Hollywood and stuff.
Okay, yeah.
Like
it's hard to judge it against a scale.
Right. But it becomes a dance where it's just like, well, for us, when we're looking at 1% of whatever their budget's going to be for a thing, we need a little bit of elbow room. So it does become that thing.
Kudos on Eileen and Timmy for their work in Sweetmeats. For what Timmy shot out in 3 days.
Oh wow!
Nick,
pretty sure joined a production already started. But again, so someone like Timmy, because he's going to be the star in Casually Cool, our budget based on how we are doing it and how we can get Timmy falls under how he is part of the production, and so now he can be the lead in this because the budget is only this, and it falls under. I mean, this is all information. If you want to be a real nerd about it and go to the SAG-AFTRA website, you can look at it, and but the great thing is it's all on Front Street, like of how you can participate. Like our producers for this, we gained from just doing Sweetmeats. Amy Hasselbrock and Media Tricks Films came on board for Sweetmeats. Riley Bartolomeo came on board for Sweetmeats. They are back for these movies and are functioning as executive producers.
Right. Oh, okay.
And they have. I mean, it's nice. just mentioning that little bit of administration work, it's so nice being able to hand some of that over to. That's right. You said about us selling out.
Straight
now
to the top, baby.
We're like, no more business. No more art talk. Let's talk business.
Wait, so it's pronounced Mediatrix. Now, I was calling it Mediatrix, like Dominatrix. Is that related?
Ooh.
Is that related to the
Mediatrix? I like that. It could be Mediatrix.
That's because there's a movie called Mediatrix or whatever. Is that the same company or is that entirely different? Oh, okay, because I think it was on Troma. You know, I was like going through the Troma Now app or whatever, and
interesting. Write that down.
Well, these movies sound awesome. Can I ask? I want to ask the significance of two things on the posters or whatever. Let's start with Casually Cool, since that's gonna be released first, right?
It's the only thing that I can almost confirm is going to happen.
Oh, okay.
Like unless people continue.
Dear listener, please contribute to these.
Yeah, no, for sure. Please like send me the link, and I'll try the link to your Indiegogo, and I'll try to push that out as much as I can. You know, on my small little humble podcast. We have grown since the last time you were on.
Awesome.
By the way. I think you guys might appreciate this more than anybody. I'm sorry, I'm gonna put my question on pause if you don't mind, real quick, and toot my own horn.
What's up, man?
I'm sure you know who Danny Bonaducci is.
Yeah,
I interviewed his ex-wife. She is she's in a goth band from Bisbee, Arizona. The band agreed to come on before I knew she was in the band. Lovely lady. I just wanted to throw that out there. Shout out Gretchen Bonaducci. So that's where we are now. Yeah.
Did you what in your journalistic integrity are you like? All right, softball, like pump them up. Like, yeah, you guys are so good. Like, man, you guys are doing something I've never heard about before.
By the way,
you were married with Danny Bonaducci.
I didn't bring it up at all. Actually,
does he have a third testicle? Yes, doesn't he?
I was told that I could bring it up, but I was like, you know what? We're just gonna strictly talk about music.
You were told that you could bring it up?
I was told I could.
Did you ask that question, or it was just like, hey, by the way?
No, the guitarist from the band had contacted me saying that he wanted to come on, and
that sounds a little baity. Like, hey, if you book us,
I guess so. Kind of. I hadn't thought about that. Yeah, but no, he was the one who brought it up, just saying like, oh, she's the ex-wife of Danny Bonaducci, and you can't. She doesn't care if you bring it up, and I just didn't. She's actually running for mayor of Bisbee, Arizona. Shout out for that, I guess. But anyways, back to you.
They do that on stage, like before they come out. They're like, and also just so you know, the ex-wife of.
They did that with Sublime when what's his name was singing for him. They're like, "Here's Sublime with Ryza," just so everybody knows. Like, or when he was the Filipino kid that got picked up to be the lead singer for that old 80s band.
Not Journey. Journey, yeah. Journey.
Yeah, so like when they announced that Journey's coming to town, they said it's Journey without so and so.
Right.
Like,
well, it's like Queen. It's like they're like it's Queen. I mean, they don't do the hand motion. Like that'd be real fucked up and weird. Like it's Queen with Adam Lambert.
That's so funny. Wild, man. What a wild thing.
Yeah, it was.
I want to touch upon 40 before you get to the next question. 45 minutes ago, Ricky didn't stop talking. So, but you did mention you said like the next two films. Do you look at that like as all your friends and sweetmeats? And I truly do from like this like filmmaking perspective. I'm like, it's almost like we're getting the band back together,
right?
And then it's like, hold my beer. I'm going to show you what we can do. Like, we're going to take everything that we've learned and we're going to like try to turn it up. Now, if these turn out terrible, we can erase this and this. So just cut
all
this
this
part.
stay in. I need leverage on you now.
No, I really, just wanted to like that's I do view it that way. I think they are similar in their scope and what we kind of want to accomplish with them, and there's going to be clear steps, but we do want to raise the overall bar on our just filmmaking. Like we want to eliminate especially like it's the DP. I want to like eliminate like technical faults. Like I want to get rid of things that like you can.
He wants to highlight my faults and be
Yes.
like, why would all of blocking be at a 180 in this woods? Like,
Or why would we finish the film at a chili cook-off? It makes no sense. But hey, here we go.
I did not write that scene.
Okay, no, I like so you guys are really like pushing yourself.
Because the lead character of Casually
Just
Cool,
shut up.
he
Finish your thought, Ricky.
No. I was gonna tie to that. Like, he doesn't live on a houseboat. When we're deciding, like, where does he live? Like, what is cool? Like, in a trailer on the beach or in the river or whatever. We're like, oh no, he honestly lives in his car because that's the closest he can, relationship wise and emotionally, be to his daughter at this point in his life. Like, when we were trying to be like, what could be this tropey thing of like, oh, where does he live? Where's the cool place that Cool lives? Because his name is RF Cool. That's why it's called Casually Cool.
Gotcha.
And we were like, oh, it's his car. Like, it's not like he has this elaborate bed or whatever. But like, if this was a series of the show, season 1, he'd live in his car, and then maybe season 2. What if he makes like a little camper in the backyard?
Since they have it down by the river.
Like, yeah,
And it's really nice.
No, in the first draft, he lived in a giant apartment loft that you had to take the cool freight elevator up to, and then the second draft, he was on a houseboat. Right? We were, just where do we?
Well, we had connections
Wayne's World
too.
Yeah.
What was the name of the
film
houseboat?
there? No, okay. Silver Grove now, I guess.
The USS Cool.
Okay. So my question about Casually Cool, what is the significance of the cat on the poster? Are those just sort of like test posters for now? Or
No, so this is a vital part of the script. It's a vital part of the movie.
It is. I mean, the posters right now, hopefully you will have, by the time this goes live, you will have the actual art for the teaser. What you looked at now is the demo for the teaser poster that we're going to be doing.
Gotcha.
Brian and Sarah Laley, to keep up with the local theme of being like, hey, we're going to make 2 movies in 1 calendar year that are produced in Northern Kentucky and Cincinnati. Brian and Sarah Laley, who did the cover of the book in Sweetmeats and also the chapter art that appeared throughout the whole movie.
Oh, right, yeah.
They are doing the original art for both movies.
Nice, cool.
Casually Cool, they had the same kind of demo image that you had, which has a cat eating out of a can of a chili that is being held by a hand, and there's bloody paw prints. And I think what is going to be more closer to the final image that people could see now is the Ohio River that we described, with the Cincinnati skyline kind of in the back, to show like, oh, what's behind the cat and across the river.
Oh, okay. So I won't ask about the red solo cup for Trudy.
No.
Yeah, please do. Well, so you mentioned this before. You're just like, oh, these aren't horror. And I was just like, well, in Trudy, we see the mass suicide happen, which is fucking horrific.
Oh, yeah. No,
well, I mean, it Casually Cool. It starts off with, so Hunter and I were talking about like, oh, what if we did our own Rockford Files episode? And we text Hiance, and Hiance is like, if this movie doesn't start with a woman like washed up to shore, like dead and drowned, I'm not doing it.
Believe
we were like,
it or
funny
not.
story. Like, we already have, that is the.
We were just like,
this movie.
he gets it.
Like, it was kind of kismet, where Chris like, oh, it is that tropey thing of like, there is this murder that literally washes up on the shores of this small town.
And now they have to deal with it.
They have to deal, like, as a town, they have to deal with it. It's on the day of their 32nd annual chili cook-off, which is a very big deal inside of this
Huge
town.
deal.
Like,
Huge.
there is this soap opera, kind of like you were saying, like Twin Peaks. There is, I will kudos and say, a script that is not in the pipeline to be filmed. Eileen Ernest read who is going to be in Casually Cool and be playing Trudy and Truly Trudy. Mm-hmm. She's just like, I love your love of these broken blue collar people. Mm. She's just like the focus that you give them.
Do you mean
in
me?
Your scripts?
Like me?
No, I mean, like, I mean, I don't think any of us are blue collar, but I think we all have, like, lived. Like, my dad ran a gas station and, like, grew up, like, from that. Like, I think we all have these connection to these blue collar.
I have dug ditches for a cemetery for 50 years. Like,
it's pretty damn blue collar, yeah.
Yeah.
For sure. Okay, I have a question for Nick. So, are you going to be shooting these movies differently from each other? I mean, obviously, I'm not educated in, like, filmmaking, but, you know, Sweetmeats and All Your Friends Are Dead seem very different in the realm of cinematography. Are you going to take, like, drastically different approaches with these new projects?
Yeah, so I am really hyper focused since these guys are more of the story, and I just come up and really like kind of bump up the stories and add all the funny and smart bits. This is kind of like my role on the story front. But when it comes to shooting,
when we write his name next to written by, he's a one man machine.
I do like I'm hyper fixated on Casually Cool right now, being that we're a few months away from our shoot dates, and I do know how I'm like planning on shooting that, and it's definitely a different style, something I haven't done before, didn't even have the technology, or let me say I didn't have the equipment on the first two films to even do something like this. So I think it's really going to lend the look to like what we're trying to capture. But then on Trudy, which once the calendar year turns, I'll really start focusing my attention on how we're going to capture that. I think we are going to maybe try to do like a little larger of a format, wider lenses, or I should say more shallow depth of field and things like that. I'm kicking around some ideas, but I definitely want them to have separate feels, separate looks, to kind of help capture and tell the story visually.
Okay, cool.
I mean, Nick and I have talked about like, so I don't. If I'm in a scene in Truly Trudy, if we get that budget, that's the most I'll be in it. Casually Cool, I'm probably going to be one of the top 4 main characters out of necessity, but I get to also direct it a little bit more, and that's part of that question is something Nick and I have talked about, where I'm excited for Casually Cool because I do want it to be edited like those shows. Like, right. I want you, while you're watching, even whether you recognize it or not, like the beats of the edit are. We haven't filmed this way because we've been using theater actors. We haven't been doing the traditional, like, you're in a 1, your response is in a 1, you're in a 1. Like, the conversation is in ones. We've been doing long takes because we're like, that's what we got to do because we can't do setups. Like, we can't do lighting. Based on the locations that we've got for Casually Cool, I think we're going to be able to still do the same style of filmmaking and the quickness, but with having the longer schedule like Hiance was talking about, and knowing how we're going into it filming, that the style we're doing is we're going to get these actors like Eileen and Timmy and really good ones delivering these lines to each other, and then we're also going to have a master wide of the two of them doing the scene because they're really fucking good performers. Like, I think it's going to be not a hindrance. It's going to be different, but I think when we get to editing, I think it's going to be the same kind of process where we're like, well, we have 2 takes and both are pretty good. Which one do we want to go to? Now we can bounce. We can go to Timmy for this medium shot, or we can go to this, as you were saying, Hiance, like B-roll, like we can show something weird at the bar because it's this TV show and we have this, we are, I think we put enough safety gaps for ourselves to be like, okay, we are pushing ourselves in this way, filmmaking, but the story we're telling and the actors we're using, they're so good that they're going to help us get over this hurdle of this filmmaking that we're kind of like hopefully getting better at with each. Like you were saying, you like Sweetmeats over All Your Friends Are Dead. I too love that they both look like very different films.
Yeah. Would it sort of be like the difference between like single camera and multi-camera, in terms of like shooting?
I don't think so necessarily. Kind of, yeah, because we definitely want to make it look like a TV show that's like filmed on set to an extent. But I do think like Casually Cool is definitely going to find its vibe and its tone in post-production more so than the other films, and definitely more than what we're going to do with Trudy, because we've kicked around a lot of ideas like how far do we want to take this, being that the format that it's in, it's you're watching it, you know, this is the two-parter of a TV show in the world that we're living in. Do we play it straight as like a made-for-TV movie so it looks like it is, you know, you could go out and get it and just watch it in one, or do we go, you know, the complete opposite direction and we make it look like it's one of the VHS behind you that was taped off the TV? Do we go like there? Is there commercial breaks? Like I don't want to like throw that out there, but like we're toying with a ton of stuff, and I don't know if I was legally, that's on my list of things I'm not allowed to say.
I can just take it out.
Like also,
no, Hiance, you're good. Hunter already busted that cherry by being like, maybe just like on a wedding video, like I don't know, maybe.
Yeah. Wouldn't that be cool?
And so totally we don't know exactly where we're going to land.
That's where our mindset comes to like creating an indie film is we know that is our affordability and our toolbox of like within that like $7,000, $10,000 budget, us having that like sketch background and being able to put things together. We can sit back and we'd be like, all right, this is what we have. What makes this better? And I think that is that ensemble and that like kind of group mentality of like, all right, we want to showcase us and these people who agreed to work with us in the best way they can. Maybe then we do. So Hiance was mentioning on Sweetmeats, like we didn't shoot B-roll. We had an opportunity. We had a meeting as we do, and it was the owner of Nick's restaurant was like, I have all this old meat. Do you want to come and film any of it, like cooking or whatever? And he's like, maybe it can work as like some, you know, cutaway stuff. And we were like, oh yeah, maybe that's a great idea. We had scripted that we had cutaways to different foods that they were making based on the body parts that they were coming out of, if we wanted to do that. Again, if time and money and effort and ability, if we could do that. Showing cutaways of the singles for Bobby Sweet, we were just like, we could do that. We got an assembly edit of the movie together, and Hiance and I were like, it's not laziness, but what would adding any of that do to what is centrally here for the movie?
Right.
So again, thinking of things that way, we are then taking that and moving it to Casually Cool, which is the next project. And so even bringing like Trace Walker, who was the assistant director on Sweetmeats, we butted heads at some point because he was also the script coordinator. We would constantly be asking each other. Trace would be like, all right, I'm the script coordinator and supervisor. I don't know that this is going to edit together based on what we just covered script-wise. Me having written the script, being in the movie, Hiance having filmed with him, like Trace is at a disadvantage. We're like, I think this is based on how we've done stuff before. I think this will work.
So that was so you missed the best part. The best part was you're like, well, we're going to do a snap cut. We're just going to do a quick jerk and it's going to be there. And they're like, are you sure that's going to work? Like, yeah, we made this shitty zombie movie 25 years ago and it worked back then. So it has to work now. Like,
it worked on Sony Vegas. It works now. But even Trace, like, throughout that process, like we realized you shouldn't have one person do script coordination and do assistant direct. Yeah. So we're like, we're not going to make that mistake again. But like we reached out to him for this project and we're like, do you want to be part of this as assistant director? And do you have anybody that you recommend for script coordinator? And he was like, yes, I do. And yes, I do. And so again, we are kind of just trying to the goodwill
band
of
back
Sweet
together.
Meats. Yeah, it is literally like that Blues Brothers of like, no, Casually Cool logically makes the most sense because it is that low rent, like grimy kind of thing. It's not self-exploitation, but it is that like, and even just the name, it's like, it's not cool. It's like casually cool. It's kind of cool. So like, if you like the music,
put off by how cool he is.
But like, if you don't like the music, like that's cool too. Like, I think Hiance and I and Hunter were talking about like things that it feels like we're like, oh, it feels like Edgar Wright's Cornetto trilogy, or it feels like a Fargo or Big Lebowski, like Coen Brothers thing. Yeah, and I'm like, yeah, you know what? I've never thought of it that way.
Ricky. Thanks for the comparison.
So I googled I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No.
Oh, I was just going to say. So I googled the words. I googled the words "casually cool," and
I love this. I think I did it once just to make sure we could get the SEO part of it. Like, we get casuallycool.com?
I also googled the Casually Cool movie. So when I just did the two words, it gave me the fashion aesthetic, which it described as like stylish and yet effortless aesthetic, right? And then when I put in movie, it gave me like what are cool movies, and it said like the Coen Brothers.
Oh.
And I was like, oh, okay.
Casually Cool. It'd be a cool movie.
Yeah.
Only if you contribute to the Indiegogo that's going on right now.
Right. There you go. Okay, well, I won't keep you guys too much longer. I could talk about this all night. Again, thank you so much for coming on.
Questions away.
Yeah, I got one more question here. Sure. Yeah. So the religious death cult, is there a specific branch of religion or a cult that existed in the real world that influenced that? Or are you still? Because I know you do fantasy, sci-fi, horror writing, Eric. Are you like coming it with out of your own?
It's all that. It's Jonestown. It's I always forget the name of it. What was
Heaven's
the ones with the Heaven's Gate? Yeah, so it's Heaven's Gate. It's. But the other thing that we try to do with the movie too is like. Obviously, we weren't going to recreate the wheel. We weren't going to make a brand new cult, but
it was just the idea of status through different situations throughout a possible person's life.
Yes, and the interesting connection between those two is like we are constantly pointing back to the fact that yes, she is the last surviving member of the Steph cult, and now she is a senior in high school who's about to graduate, and she's still kind of dealing with sort of the same things about like. Status and where she fits in the world and what is her part and what is she supposed to be doing?
Something coming to an end. Like there is like beyond her control.
Graduation is coming. At
the end of the world is happening. Right. She is then thrusted into another situation, and they're like, by the by, you didn't meet the requirements for that last end of the world thing for you, but by this date, you are done. Like we're just putting you into like there's some interesting like. I don't know that we're the best equipped to deal with like anybody that deals with trauma as far as being the last surviving member of a death cult, but I think we are glibly being like, yeah, but then with like, what if a Fantasia was then like her Wizard of Oz, which Hiance and I have talked about with like All Your Friends Are Dead. So there is elements of other things that we've done that spill over. So All Your Friends Are Dead just isn't casually cool. It is from a production level, but like thematically. Like, there are things that I think are in Trudy that are very All Your Friends Are Dead, which Matt Wilby does his kind of, like, his Fantasia, like, fulfilling prophecy. Like, Trudy, as selfless as she is of a character, like, she, based on her vibe and her aura, convinces everybody to make the best of, like, be very present in the time that they're in and make the best of it.
Okay. Again, it's just pulling threads from that idea of these cults that we've experienced throughout history. It's like the finer points of all these things. It's like, man, it's always like these couple of 10 things that doesn't matter what your background is or how extreme it could possibly be. It's like, yeah, you're still just trying to be in the moment.
And the buy-in's like, it's really good up until like there's one thing that's like, oh no, that's fucked up. Like we all kill ourselves. And then like.
The words,
like,
the tainted innocence are coming to mind. It sounds like a metaphor for the loss of innocence, right? And yet she was raised in this death cult, which obviously is not innocent. It sounds like she's never had her innocence in a sense, and yet the way
no individuality,
dogmatic cults, religions can be is like they make you think that you're following the pure righteous path when really you're all gonna kill yourself so you can get on Halley's Comet or whatever.
Yeah, which is kind of an extreme version of like cliques in high school, or like the cheerleading squad. Like it's all that stuff. Yeah,
or punk rock. Yeah.
Thank you for mentioning punk rock.
Of course. Okay.
I think ultimately what's funny about it and interesting for us is just like it's not. We always question like, well, what is parody and what is satire? I mentioned before about Naked Gun, me being a little bit maybe more worried than anybody else. I'm just like, oh well, what is the line? For like the thing we constantly ask all three of us as we've read through these scripts, we're just like, well, okay. So do we make a joke here? Right. Or does that kill like the emotionality and the story that like we kind of want to make this really earnest version of this movie?
Yeah,
it just happens to have like substance. Our dumb humor. Like
let it be dumb. But again, like
no, I think that's like wonderful. Like the Kevin's I'm sorry, the Kevin Smith influence, you know what I mean? Like his movies are very silly and with like a sort of like what's the word, scat like humor or whatever.
Ooh, yeah.
But they do make you feel and think. I mean, look at Dogma. That's one of my favorite movies. Very silly, but also at the same time it's dealing with such like the end of the world. And with God, and like, so I think that's great that you guys are like pushing yourselves and really challenging yourselves as artists. Like that's what the world needs, fellas. I mean, people are so complacent.
Ultimately, at the end of the day, like the biggest worry that anybody that's creating any sort of art right now can have is how do you get people to see it or hear it? Like us doing this, the crowdfunding is like, okay, one of the things we can guarantee is like, if you contribute to like this crowdfund, like you can see it, you can hear it, like we'll make sure. Our big plans of it is at the end of the day, once we get these two movies done, even talking with the band at this level, at this infancy of this post-production of even the first thing, Casually Cool, White Lighter is just like, oh man, we would love to be part of both movies. And if we do like a 4-wall like boutique tour of movie theaters, we would love to coincide and like go do a performance where we could open the show and do a show, and then your double feature happens, that then we could do a live version of a song, like just this like thing. And I'm just like, oh, like a theater background, I'm just like, yeah, that's amazing. Like if that ever happened, we've made it. But again,
for sure. Are there drive-ins in your area?
Oh yeah, we are surrounded.
Okay, yeah. There's one in Phoenix. I could totally see your guys' movies.
How far you will drive versus how far I will drive. Like there's like 10 drive-ins within like 100-mile radius.
Oh, I'm not driving 100 miles. Nice. There's one that's like 10 miles down the street from me, and it is
Amelia. That's the one I go to.
It's a Starlight. It is, and it definitely is like a drive-in, and it's always been a drive-in, and they survive COVID and all that stuff.
Nice. That's fantastic.
We'll play. This double feature, I think, is built for drive-ins, where you get your first like murder mystery. Like, and there's some humor, there's some yucks, but like even if you don't like the humor, like you're still gonna get like all that like popcorn eating. Like, well, I gotta figure out who this Agatha Christie like murder. Like, I gotta figure out what's going on here at the end.
Well, this one's for the adults, but the next one's for the kids.
Yeah, well, you get it, and it's like, well, I mean, next one's for the kids.
There's a huge like suicide at the beginning of the movie, and it's horrific. I wrote it to be horrific,
and. Like, but I do feel like that second movie being that like Wizard of Oz, like bigger musical, that's a little bit more of like a little bit of kind of like those road movies like Pee-wee's Big Adventure, Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back. It's just like, what do you like? Oh, do you like 80s slasher movies where robots are like chasing after people in malls? Like, yeah, we got that in this. Like, what do you like? Awesome. You like just one of the guys where like she has to dress up as a dude to go to prom, like
to sneak in.
Yeah. Do you want a musical number to break out like Grease 2, like Cool Rider? Yeah, we got that.
Well, I'm looking forward to both movies. Do you think both movies will be released in about a year, or do you think in like 2027, or what are you guys aiming for?
Oh, that's a great question. We'll let you know.
Okay. For sure.
I will follow up with you on Monday.
Okay.
I would say realistically, fall of 2027.
Okay. Yeah. That's what I was thinking.
If things fall, if like things snowball to get Trudy made the way that can be made, a thing we didn't mention, like Gary Kroger coming on board, being a producer from Saturday Night Live. He read the script and listened to the songs of Trudy. And I said to him, I was just like, you would be a great, because it's a double cast between the leader, who's like a Jim Jones character, and the principal, which is like a principal building. They're supposed to be the same actor. I was like, you'd be fantastic. And he read it, and he's just like, yep, I'm in. I was like, well,
I would be fantastic. You're right, Ricky.
I was like, here is the bigger scope of what we're about ready to present. So if you came on board, it would really behoove us to you to be interested in this whole big thing that we're pitching. And he's just like, yes. He's like, I think indie film, like, this is the kind of things I would like to see happen out of indie film. The auspicious filmmakers from no matter where they're from, just being like, hey, you know what we're gonna do? We're gonna be like a studio. We're gonna do from Trumaville. No, not Trumaville. We do have the support of Lloyd Kaufman.
Oh yes, we do have the support of Lloyd Kaufman.
Cool.
That's very true.
We will not be a trauma film. But
okay. Speaking of which, when will Sweetmeats be available for the public? Will it?
So I believe there is a official Blu-ray on in the works right now that has special features that were not part of the INDIEGOGO, and I would guess probably a year from now it will be on Troma Now.
Okay, very cool.
If I had to make a guess, but if anybody that is listening wants to know, if you follow Nick, Eric, or I, you will see a resharing, a reposting, or something that as soon as I or we are aware of it, will then be relayed within the next hour, most likely.
Nice. Okay. Awesome. Well, I'm gonna have to wrap it up here. And I'm sorry for that. Again, I could talk. I have so many questions, but I can hear my child getting very upset from the other room.
Bad parent.
So, do you guys want to plug your social media, or
Ricky, have at it?
No, go to the INDIEGOGO when this drops.
Yes,
I think on October 2nd.
Okay.
Or right around then, as this embargo is on this coming out. I believe just search NKY Films. Anything you search for that will take you towards INDIEGOGO, and however you can contribute and help make happen Casually Cool and Trudy.
Awesome. Okay, awesome. Yeah. And I want to say to anybody listening, just think about it this way. You're contributing. If you contribute to getting this movie made, you are a part of this movie, in a sense. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And if you can't contribute, All Your Friends Are Dead is on Tubi. So
that's very true. Don't take any sleep medication before watching it.
Don't take any sleep meds.
Yeah, my question is, did you fall asleep like as Matt Wilby is like falling asleep,
going through the dream sequence?
Yeah. Like, we lull you into sleep.
It's just the sleep meds that once they kick in, it takes like an hour for them to kick in, and they just knock me out. So for 20 years, I was drinking to fall asleep. I recently got sober, going on 4 months.
Congratulations.
Thank you. I really needed it. And but now if I can sleep for real this time, and it knocked me out. So I'll watch it again.
To me, I thought I was just Fat Ricky in that tight little.
No, the movie is very good.
I want that to be the Letterboxd review. Like, put me right to sleep.
I put me right to sleep with Ricky who's running around that little Letterman jacket.
Well, thank you for having us.
Yes, thank you guys so much for coming on. Eric, Ricky, Nick, thank you so much. I can't wait to see these movies. Everybody, this has been Let's Ruin Our Lives. I'm Joshua Hensley. For the love of God, subscribe on YouTube. Mahalo.
Hi, my name's Gary Kroger. I'm an actor, writer, producer. I gave up the Hollywood side of the business many, many years ago. I went into advertising, but that's not that interesting right now. But I also do community theater and I do independent films. And let me tell you why. Independent films, I think, are the conscience still of filmmaking. $100 million budgets, $200 million blockbuster budgets. Well, those films have to be monstrous successes at the box office or they lost money. And so they have no choice but to pander to trends and to pander to sort of corporate thinking. Well, in the independent world, we don't have such constraints. Sure, we'd love bigger budgets. Sure, we would. But you work with what you have and with the help of people like you to have little bit better budgets, but still we're working with a certain kind of modesty that demands that the filmmakers, the actors, the directors, the cinematography, everyone involved in the film really have to be at their A game. They have to be clever so that we can tell the stories rich with humor, rich with emotion that we want to tell without the constraints of corporate thinking. So anyway, it's why I'm involved with NKY Films as a producer, and I'm working on 2 upcoming films, Casually Cool and Trudy. And I even hope to possibly work into my schedule the ability to be in those films. Again, because I truly believe that this is where the craft, the art of filmmaking still exists at its best. Hope you join us. Talk to you later.
A low-down dirty dog doesn't deserve a do-over dance. But if I could change my ways, I wouldn't need a second chance. All I need is my partner in crime. This time, be my Bonnie, and I'll be your Clyde. Be my driver, and I'll be your ride. Be my Bonnie, be my Bonnie. My heart is nails, honey. Pockets filled with money. I'll be your Clyde. I'll be your Clyde, and you'll be my Bonnie, my badass Bonnie. Even a cold soul shouldn't steal from the blind. But if I'm blinded by love, I'm stealing hearts all the time. All I need is one hot pistol to shoot and gather